Good morning, this is Greg. How can I help you?
Hi, Greg. My name is Mary Eng. What's your name?
My name's Greg.
Greg what?
I'm sorry?
What's your formal name? I would rather call you formally.
Oh, no, I don't share my last name.
You don't share your last name, but this is the
No.
Portland store, and are you a general manager?
Yes, I'm a manager of the Apple Store.
Is it like
How can I help you?
Are you a supervisor, or are you like the top manager of Portland?
Of the store right now, I'm the manager in charge, but
Okay.
I do have a boss if you'd like to talk to my boss or something.
Who's your boss?
His name is Rado.
Rado?
Rado. Mm-hmm.
R-A-D-O?
Yes.
Well, is he available?
He is not. He is not here today.
Oh, okay. So when would be
I
a
am the
good
top person in the store today. If you want to go to the highest level of management in the store today, that would be me.
Okay, that's great. And then just call back during the week, possibly, if we don't get very far today.
Well, I can always have him call you, too. It's up to you.
Okay, so...
But if you'd like to tell me what I can do for you, maybe I can help solve your problem.
Yeah, great. So I want to tell you my full name. My name is Mary. My last name is Eng. I have been really enjoying Apple products since about 2003-04, I think, when I had my first used Apple product. So I just want you to know that you're undeniably, like, amazing. And so no hard feelings. I'm just a little concerned about how your store is working in terms of the new standards for... we've got a lot of police accountability issues going on in the country. So just
Sure.
background-wise, I studied as a paralegal down in Los Angeles because I was living in Portland, but I was deeply affected by the Portland police killing James Chass. They supposedly kicked him to death and denied him medical care. So I was like, I really got to go get into paralegal school. So I went down to LA, eventually was taking a bunch of paralegal classes, using Apple products in the classroom, and they really helped me keep my course notes and do my homework and things like that. So I came back up to Portland and became involved in police accountability structures, including doing some pro bono work assisting police brutality victims. And I am aware that you guys are using Portland Police as security, and I have no problem with that. I met a really nice officer who's an Aquarius. He was like the most extremely polite, diplomatic officer ever. I think his name was Mullen or Mulberg or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know if it rings the bell, if you know which one I mean. Or if
it doesn't. We don't get to choose the officers that come, so there's different ones all the time.
So I just want you to know something, and that's why I didn't even really share it with the person who answered the phone, is I just said it's confidential. But there's one of the officers that you have utilized recently was involved in a cover-up of police brutality against me. And you would think, like, being trained in the law and having, like, a million friends that are lawyers, the Portland police wouldn't want to mess with me. But we live in a pretty scary world. And Mayor Charlie Hales had his security guard lie on a 911 and make a false accusation that I was wielding a weapon at City Hall and had me covered with bruises by a really notorious officer, Todd Engstrom. And his acting superior at that time, was running security for you guys a few days ago, which I found it kind of... The Crooker is his name, the one who was running security for you guys. But he's a pretty decent guy in terms of speaking well. But I have a pending internal affairs complaint with the Portland police because I had made a reference to the police brutality on June 29th against me on a false deliberate charge after I asked the mayor to resign. He needed to get even or something like that. But anyway... It's being investigated. Todd Engstrom hopefully will get control of his brutality problem. But in the meantime, the officer who is running security for you guys, Mr. Crooker, as the sergeant...
What's the officer's name again?
Crooker. It's Crooker.
Okay.
He's got, like, a nice presentation. He's not, like, foul-mouthed. He doesn't curse or anything like that. But when I confronted him on the brutality that he oversaw, he said, because we have to report back to the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C., We never do brutality, and there were no injuries. But the fact of the matter is that I've used my Apple computer to photograph the bruises that were all over up and down my arms when my shoulders got ripped into this really unnatural position. And the Portland police actually took off my neck brace to brutalize me after my Portland police brutality ex who stalked me almost killed me. So it was like I was not in the mood for anyone else to brutalize me. And they did, and the mayor knew about it, but I was possibly being whistleblower retaliated against for being a whistleblower, so that was probably why the brutality happened. So the guy Crooker, who's working security for you, is a part of the cover-up of my brutality, and when I tried to just speak to him very politely about, my wrists were crushed, my thumb is numb, I'm in a lot of pain in my hands, and I'm still covered in bruises, he basically told me my pain wasn't real, my bruising wasn't real, my emotional distress wasn't real, because everything the Portland police do is perfect. So,
a question for you. Did you have this conversation with him in the store?
No, this is just over by the police station because I was on the way to Starbucks. So I kept it really polite, but then I made a further report to the Independent Police Review, which they've referred it to my internal affairs complaint, which is going before the police body, which is investigating the original brutality and the mayor's lie on 911, which he may go to prison for this. I don't know, because you're not supposed to lie on 911. Okay. But anyway, the thing that had happened, I believe it was a couple of days ago, a contact who I have followed online does cop watching. He attempted to interview Crooker while he was doing duty about his role in the cover-up on the brutality. And Crooker turned out to want to retaliate against that photojournalist who's also been arrested and harassed numerous times by the police, interviewing him about this very important case. So he got a lot of great footage, Crooker basically denying that he knew anything that he was talking about. But I believe Crooker misrepresented him to your management and then asked for Pioneer Place to do a long-term exclusion on him, which I think he at that point thought it was really kind of funny because I don't believe David Davis is his name, had any intent to bother or disturb your customers. He was specifically approached Crooker on this issue of Mayor Hales on June 29th having John Chandler of G4S Security Corporation call in a lie to 911 saying Mary Angus brandishing a corkscrew, and he wanted to have Davis arrested because Davis is an activist against child sexual exploitation. And the mayor gets up some financing from a noted pedophile in the Democratic finance circuit. So it's kind of like Davis isn't a Republican that I know of, but he's critical of why a known pedophile who is a stalker and harasser of his pedophilia victim is, just whitewashed by people like Charlie Hales. So anyway, I'd asked Charlie Hales to resign. I got brutalized. Finally, the good news is that the DA dropped the charges. So when Davis was approaching Mr. Crooker or Officer Sergeant Crooker as a citizen journalist, he was basically asking him a citizen journalist question about a pretty serious case where the police have coordinated a lie, retaliated against copwatcher whistleblowers who have years of service in cop watching, and then he's basically running security for you guys. It really has nothing to do with the Apple Corporation. And I mean, if I got a big amount of money, I just buy everybody the most awesome 27-inch Apple product because I have no hard feelings against you. But I don't think Davis necessarily wants to be or needs to be excluded from Apple because it was a one-time coincidence that this particular guy who was in on his own cover-up of brutality against him and me and some other people, including an elderly man, were it was kind of not really related to Apple or Pioneer Place Mall. What do you think we should do?
I don't know. What do you want us to do?
Well, I think the whole thing, I see it as an architectural design thing because I think your new building is beautiful. I love the glass. It looks like my favorite plaza in Stockholm, Sweden, where they have free speech demonstrations. And I viewed it as a work of architectural genius because it's supposed to inspire free-thinking, intellectual blogger type people to want to buy computers and maybe make movies. So the whole thing of him getting kicked off the premises for making not an undercover, it was like an open journalism about, oh, hey, Mr. Sergeant Crooker, why are you brutalizing random activists and then covering up for it? To me, it just seems like a 1-year exclusion for all Pioneer Place property. And it was sort of Crooker kind of deceiving your management as well as deceiving the Pioneer Place rookie little deputy security guards into doing this. And I could send you a link to the ridiculous footage if you want to see it. It's, in some ways, it just doesn't seem like the spirit of the Apple Corporation. I mean, I think my sister's...
It sounds like you're referring to another person. And you're calling on his behalf?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm a citizen. I sought out his advice over the last year because I'd followed his cop watching online and thought it was really great. But I know his name is David Davis, and now there's a 1-year exclusion for him because of this Apple
I'm not familiar with David Davis or any 1-year exclusion on him. So are you asking me to look into that for you?
Well, I don't know if you have a company email that I could forward you the footage from Multnomah County Cop Watch so you could see if this is the kind of security approach you guys want to take. For me, I'm like, maybe David Davis is going to buy a computer, and if you guys are excluding him for a year for trying to confront this whistleblower cop who's in on a cover-up, I mean, maybe you don't want to exclude people for just doing normal new media things.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any exclusion, so I would have to even dig into that. But then again, I would want to talk either to the person involved, and I would probably want to escalate it to somebody else who would have experience in these type of issues. This isn't something that I am very familiar with or would be able to comment on.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm glad I've had a chance to fill you in. Do you mind if I leave you my phone number and my email in case you want me to?
No, please do. And I'd be happy to have, the gentleman I told you, Rado, who is my boss, reach out to you if you'd like.
Yeah, totally. So my name is Mary Eng, and I'm not, it's last name E-N-G. I'm not authorized to speak for David Davis, but I am a concerned friend and citizen. I consider myself a friend. I don't know if he does, but then my phone number is 503-468-0450, and my email is maryeng1@gmail.com, MARYENG1@gmail.com. And David Davis's organization that he is the sort of the founder and the pioneer of is Multnomah County Cop Watch. And you can find that footage on Multnomah County Cop Watch. I'm also publishing it on my blog, which is the Brain Garbage blog. And Brain Garbage is my Twitter that links to my blog. And I mean, I've been blogging about police accountability issues for years. I'm not like the expert. I think the expert is Portland Cop Watch's Dan Handelman. But maybe we should let him know about it. Because I just think of Apple as a really progressive company where even the stuff you've gotten into with the FBI, I see that as like, Apple's pretty smart, and I just don't think this is necessarily representing the company to just punish draconian punishment for a cop watcher. And I try to get Davis to be, as polite as possible. He's from the East Coast, so he's from New Jersey, so that doesn't always go over well in Portland.
Yeah, I think I have a good understanding of why you're calling now, and it's more to because you're concerned about, and keep in mind, please, I have no idea about a person being excluded, but just based on what you're telling me, that your concern is that you feel Apple excluded somebody from shopping in the store who should not be.
Yeah, and it was based on something that happened off premises that is a pretty complicated political situation involving serious brutality that may end up in court. So it's kind of like, you wouldn't expect the retaliation to follow you around town. It was just a random coincidence.
Right. So you believe that Apple has excluded him from shopping at Apple because of something that happened not at Apple?
Yeah, and it's pretty much because he tried to get a statement on record on a cop watching reel of why Crooker was involved in this illegal arrest that the district attorney has dropped. And the district attorney dropping it
is... Is that the thing he did on Apple property or something? Is that what you were saying?
So he's basically holding the camera at Sergeant Crooker, who separately off the property at City Hall supervised some brutality in retaliation to other cop watchers, including himself.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out whether was that filming, did that happen at her store or did that happen at City Hall?
Well, the City Hall event happened June 29th. The filming event, I believe, was Thursday or Friday. So just like the 12th or something, or maybe...
And that filming event was at City Hall or at Apple?
That was at Apple, but it was outside of Apple. So even Crooker was being all really weird about, like, oh, you need to get to the edge of the sidewalk. And he was like, I'm standing on the sidewalk. Like, why are you telling me it's illegal to film? And it was kind of like, but the thing is you got to know is that Crooker hates this activist because this activist is calling the city to account for brutality and killing people.
Yeah. No, I think I finally understand where you're coming from. And what I will do is I will pass this information up. I think I get why, because I was trying to figure out how we're involved in this. But
yeah, I know, right?
And I don't think, I don't feel that Apple is involved in this, but nonetheless, I don't have all the details. But I'd be happy to get your information over to my boss, who is Rado. I will make sure he reaches out to you and kind of talks to. You are talking about another party, so ultimately we would want to talk to the individual who would have the concern.
Totally, and I will be happy to share that.
Since you've reached out to us, I think we definitely should at least follow up with you on that. So I will make sure that happens for you, okay? Let me make sure I have your number. It's 503-468-0450. Is that correct?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Mary, and thank you for bringing that to my attention, and I will definitely pass this on to Rado.
Okay. Thank you so much, Greg. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Take care.